Buonasera, signore, buonasera. Com'è bello stare a Napoli e sognare. Quante volte ho sussurrato amore ti amo. Buonasera, signore, kiss me goodnight. Buonasera, signore, kiss me goodnight.
Buonasera, Charles.
Buona Sera, Lena. Buona Sera.
Charles, is it a great day?
It is a great day. I look forward to our meetings and our show, and been on the road, and it's great just the people that I'm meeting here. Italians have so much influence. You can see I'm a tourist today.
Yes, Charles. I'm happy to see you. I've missed you.
Yes, I know.
So we're going to do a special show today. Today is our Mother's Day show.
How special is because we think of mothers, and in Italians, it's also Nana, the grandmother, has a big influence as well. So it's great that we honor our mothers and our grandmothers and our godmothers too.
Yes. So we want to say Buona Festa della Mamma.
I love that.
Yeah. Which brings me to my background, which is Assisi. But the reason I have this up today is because there's a little borough called Tordibetto, where a parish priest, Don Otello Migliosi, is the one who started Mother's Day on the second Sunday of May in 1957. And in memory of this, in 1970, he created a Mother's Park, which is Parco della Mamma, and it's around a bronze statue depicting motherhood, a work of the sculptor Enrico Manfrini. And it was initially, Mother's Day was fixed on May 8th, but in later years, it came to be celebrated on the second Sunday in May, as many other countries in the world. So I thought that was really interesting.
That is amazing. It really is. We have to put that on our list of places to see, the statue there, and just how beautiful.
Yeah, really beautiful. And hey, Mother's Day, Italian.
Like you're saying this, I'm like, oh man, our friends are not going to believe it when we come back to them and say Mother's Day, Italian.
Well, you've become known as the guy who finds Italian history in every single thing, Charles. So you're standing in the middle of Route 66 right now. Tell us what you have found that is Italian about Route 66.
Route 66, and the part that we love about Route 66, that iconic era of the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, it's Italian. I don't know what else to say, Lena. It is Italian. And I'm just going to start at the beginning. It starts in Chicago, and it actually starts at the park there on the lake, which is actually the street is Columbus Boulevard and Balboa Drive, where the two you have Columbus, and Balboa was a great aviator that flew into Lake Erie for the exposition, which was called the Columbian Exposition. So it starts in Chicago. You're going down the road a little bit, and you got to St. Louis, which you have a big Italian setup going there. A little bit outside of St. Louis is the Rosati winery, which those Italians came up from New Orleans into Arkansas, and then they go to Missouri and they create a winery. And when Prohibition came, they started making jams. And then when World War II started, Welch's came to them to supply the jams to the troops in Europe.
Wow.
So that's part of Route 66, the Italians. You keep on going, and I do want to interact here. It's also called the Mother Road. So on Mother's Day, it's great that we're talking about Route 66, the Mother Road.
Perfect, Charles.
And there's a statue in Arizona, the Madonna of the road, with a beautiful statue honoring the women of the road, which are really, it took a family to get through this. But as you keep on going, I found in Seligman, Arizona, which is where the movie Cars is really kind of based on, there's a motel there. I'm interviewing the owners. They've got a poster, and the celebrities in 1957, the singers, is going to see Chuck Berry, Fats Domino, Little Richard. I'm thinking all those guys recorded and got started at Cosmo Matassa's studio in New Orleans on Rampart Street. So Cosmo made these guys famous to go on into Los Angeles and sing, and that's Route 66. And then I'm staying at the Blue Swallow Inn on Route 66. That's why I'm in this shirt. And they're playing your dad's music in the courtyard.
Of course they are, Charles, because Route 66 is Italian.
It is Italian, and it actually ends in Little Italy in Los Angeles, which we'll talk about later.
Perfect.
So it starts with Italians, it ends with Italians, Italians in the middle, Italians in Vegas, Italians helping everybody else become famous on Route 66.
Bravo, Charles. I knew you could do it.
We need a marker here that thanks the Italians for Route 66.
Absolutely. So, Charles, I haven't checked this out today. Looking for Mother's Day gifts. It's difficult to buy an Italian mom a gift because they have everything. They have every cooking thing and everything. So yeah, take your mom out for a special dinner or cook for her or something. But I thought this was a unique gift that you could get a mom, and it's it's a t-shirt. It's by hardcoreitalians.com. It looks like Gucci, but it says gnocchi. I'm going to get one because I think it's awesome. So that's my suggestion today for check this out, a unique Mother's Day gift.
Lena, I think every week I need to be buying the gift you feature because you've got some great items, and this fits perfect for Mother's Day.
Absolutely. So, Charles, it's time for Charles Celebrates Culture, and give it to us, Charles, today.
All right. Like I said, I actually been on Route 66 now for 3 weeks, and I ended up in headed for Santa Monica, but I stopped in Little Italy in Los Angeles, and there is a Little Italy. There's an Italian hall, and a woman there named Marianna Gatto who's come to New Orleans, and her great-grandparents came to New Orleans in the 1890s before going to LA. They're part of that Contessa Antolina group, and it's a very large group of New Orleanians, Sicilians from New Orleans in LA. And Marianna gave us a great interview. She knows her Italian history so strong, and I had a great time interviewing her about what that museum's about.
I actually did a voiceover for the museum app where I'm describing Lady Gaga's silk robe made by Donatella Versace.
I was actually thrilled to see your connection to the museum when I got there, and you're right. The Lady Gaga exhibit is great. Basil Russo, the father of the Russo brothers, their Captain American shield is there, and I think you were involved with that as well.
Yep, I got to describe that, and also Hanna-Barbera. So there was a definite connection for me. I love the Marvel movies and Captain America and the Russo brothers, and so it was really a thrill for me to be able to lend my voice to the app for that.
But there's so much that women contribute, and the museum showcases that role. And Marianna does a great job with the museum. And we're looking at some of those exhibits, the way she's laid them out, being able to bring them to New Orleans and travel with them in the future.
Oh, that's a great idea, Charles. That's great. I would love to see that happen. And
we're here at the Italian American Museum in Los Angeles, and with Marianna Gatto, who is the director of the museum. Marianna, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Mother's Day's coming up.
Yes, it is.
And we're actually in an exhibit that it's about culture. But if you look at it, the women drive this.
The sash that you see is from the Club Femminile Italiano, which is the Italian women's club, which was founded here in Los Angeles in the 1920s. And it was really kind of like a who's who of Italian American women. Its members included a woman by the name of Angela Crocetti, whose son you might have heard of. He went by the name of Dean Martin. And for their luncheons in the 40s and 50s, Angela would often recruit her son and his friend, whose name was Frank Sinatra, to entertain. And it was really just such a great organization. In addition to the social aspect, they raised money for local schools and libraries, for orphans in Italy, and for just a host of charitable causes. The club still exists. I'm actually a member, and if there's any Italian-American women who would like to join.
All right, we're based out of New Orleans. Right here in Los Angeles, you've got a big display here, Progresso.
Progresso, yeah. So, a company founded in New Orleans, but because the growing season in California is much longer, the company established a Southern California subsidiary in the 1920s. So a lot of what was canned Progresso was actually grown here in Southern California and then sent across the nation, of course. Yep. And did you know that Progresso canned ready-to-eat soup actually predated Campbell's? So they were the first canned ready-to-eat soup in the United States. So as we know, women were an integral part of the home front during World War II. You saw many women go to work in the nation's factories. There was one Italian-American woman in particular by the name of Rosa Bonavita, who was working in New York. And she and her cousin, Jenny Fiorillo, actually set a record for installing over 3,000 rivets in an Avenger bomber during the early days of the war. And they were recognized by the president. So Rosa Bonavita was actually one of the inspirations behind the term Rosie the Riveter. Many women were Rosies in the United States, but if you notice Rosie here, Rosie Bonavita, resembles kind of the iconic image that we're familiar with of the We Can Do It poster that came to symbolize, women's contributions to the war effort.
You're moving around the museum. Now we have Italians in entertainment. What do we got here?
This belongs to one of my favorite Italian-American women, who was born Stephanie Germanotta, best known as Lady Gaga. This was a gown or a robe that she wore as part of the Born This Way tour. It was designed by another fantastic Italian woman, Donatella Versace. It's pure silk, custom made, just an absolutely gorgeous robe. I wouldn't mind wearing it, but that's why we have it behind glass.
I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day.
Thank you very much.
You have a lovely son.
Thank you. Yeah. He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. He's got a great mom.
He's 27 years old, but he's still my good boy,
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Celebrating Culture. Celebrating Culture is brought to you by Awe News. Awe News also produces New Orleans Insider Tours, which are 10 self-guided tours of New Orleans and Louisiana. To download the apps, all you have to do is point your phone at the flow code in the camera mode, and you're ready to really experience Louisiana.
Charles, thank you for making Route 66 Italian and finding all the Italian for us. This is so exciting.
It's been great. I really recommend anybody doing this, and we will make an Italian version of Route 66. And also, Easy Rider does end in New Orleans, so there's that Easy Rider connection that you see. He traveled Route 66 and then heads off into New Orleans, Morganza, which is where my great grandmother settled. He goes through Morganza, Franklin, and then New Orleans.
Awesome, Charles.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So for our La Musica segment today, we're featuring a very talented lady who is a mom, and I'm a big fan of hers. Back in the early 90s, she had a hit song called On the Way Up, and I had just gotten fired from my own rock band for being a girl. They didn't think they could make it with a girl, and I was so bummed out, and this song was like an anthem to me, and I'm a big fan of hers. She is originally from Philadelphia. She's had an incredible career starting at a very young age. She won Star Search. She's performed on Broadway in musicals, and she topped the Billboard charts. Her videos have been on MTV. She's appeared multiple times on the Arsenio Hall show, and she toured the world with Prince. She lives in Las Vegas now, where she balances a music career, a real estate career, and being a mom. She just got engaged. She just bought a new home and is moving into it right now, but she agreed to talk to us, do a quick little interview, and then we'll see a little montage of her performing throughout her career. And her name is Elisa Fiorillo.
Beautiful.
Buona Sera, Elisa Fiorillo.
Hey, Buona Sera.
I am a big fan of yours, and when you came out with On the Way Up, and you being Italian and beautiful, and you were dancing and singing in that song, was like an anthem to me. Like, it was like inspiring for me as a struggling singer, and so I'm like all starstruck right now.
Aw. I've had that said to me a couple of times from different fans, how it helped them through life or through situations. And so it's always good when you write a lyric that actually helps people, You
Yeah,
never know how much your music's going to affect somebody.
absolutely,
awesome.
which is the importance of songwriting. So thank you for being so awesome and being a songwriter.
Thank you. I enjoy doing it.
Not only are you a songwriter, you're a singer, a dancer, a musician. You've even directed TV series. And
Oh, yeah.
now you have a real estate career as well as your singing career. And you're also a mom raising
Yeah.
a beautiful and talented daughter. Tell us about how you balance all that. And
I'm just tired hearing you say all that. I
are
want to go
all
to
of
sleep
us.
right now. It all just kind of fell into my lap at different times in my life. It's like my priorities kind of went from it being me being an artist and having it all about me to me not having the opportunities that I once had. So I had to find something else that was creative. I ended up directing and doing voiceover work and doing all that. And then I got my real estate license when my daughter was born. I wanted to have something so when I was home, I could actually work and make money because, as you know, musicians don't always get paid the best as they should. They work 4 hours for $100 sometimes. And, that just doesn't pay the bills. And so I don't know why, but my friends would always contact me to help them find apartments. And I remember just driving around Laurel Canyon, like writing down numbers, calling people, I'm like, this must have been like something that I always wanted to do because I really like helping people find homes. And then being a mom is such a full-time job. And she's a singer, actress, dancer. She's getting ready to go to LVA, which is an amazing school out here.
Let's talk about your family. You live in Las Vegas now, but you're from Pennsylvania. And let's talk about your family heritage.
So my mom was Irish and German and Cherokee Indian. My dad's family were all Italian. My grandmother was from Calabria. My grandfather was from Naples. And they spoke Italian. My dad did not in our house, which was frustrating for me because I always wanted to learn. A lot of his family, I think, came over on the boat and lived in New Jersey mostly, and then somehow ended up in Philadelphia. And, we'd have our Sunday dinners with the sauce. And, well, I called it sauce. Everyone else called it gravy. It's the long fight between the gravy and the sauce thing.
Yeah.
I had a little red wine and, thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yep. So your dad, we have that in common. Both of our fathers were musicians. So tell me about your dad.
So my dad, I guess he saw a movie on Franz Liszt when he was a little boy at a theater. A Song to Remember, I think that's what it was. And after that movie, he said, I want to be a pianist. By 12 years old, the guy was like a virtuoso.
Wow.
I mean, he played with the Philadelphia Orchestra when he was 12. He was a maestro. I mean, he went to Russia and he did master classes, and he continued doing that till he retired when he was about 69 or actually 70.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. Did you study, or were you just naturally a talented singer and just started singing?
Basically, it was me, a record player, and my grandma.
Wow.
My dad's mom. Yep. She would
grandmother.
come and she would sit for hours and we would record ourselves singing harmonies to, Barbra Streisand songs and Diana Ross. And so she would just sit with me for hours singing, and she would make cassette tapes of me singing. We actually made a tape where we sang in harmony. We would make up songs and just sing back and forth to each other. So I think I started kind of getting a vibe to want to write, when even being around her. And she was so confident, and so she just pushed me and believed in me so much that I felt like Streisand in the room, because she just kept saying how great I was, and it was like, that was where I got it. Not from my mom, not from my dad. It was my grandma.
So you were here in New Orleans. I got to see you when you were here. You were here for Essence Festival, which is a big thing here in New Orleans. And you had been traveling world tour with Prince at the time, and he was performing here, which was just, New Orleans, as the rest of the world loves Prince. So you got to perform here in New Orleans. And did you have a great time here while you were here?
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I remember walking into the little gift shop and seeing a t-shirt that had like Janelle Monáe and Prince on it and like all these artists. And I was like going like, I'm buying a t-shirt or 2 or 3 and taking it home, because just knowing that I was a part of that was such a treat.
So let's talk about Italian traditions that you keep now and are going to pass down to your own daughter that, come from your family.
One of the things, I mean, for sure, my Annette's pizzelles, every Christmas we sit and we make them, and they take a long time.
Yeah.
And they have to be just right, and I have the waffle iron that's like the stainless one, not the new ones that make them too thick.
Right.
So I'm very picky about my pizzelles because my Annette taught me well.
Do you do family Sunday dinners?
I want to. I just bought a new home, and I said to my fiance, because I just got engaged. Yes.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
And he has 5 kids and I have 1. And so I've always wanted a big family. I always wanted to have big parties and big dinners. And so, that's the plan. But it's hard when everybody's working and schedules. But we're trying. We're trying to at least get one Sunday a month in there.
Have you recorded any Italian music or thought about doing that? Yeah.
My dad always wanted me to be an opera singer.
You should do it, because I think it would be absolutely stunning to hear your voice singing Italian songs. And of course, let us know, because we will super promote. There's so many Italians here in Louisiana.
Sounds good to me.
We need your voice on some Italian songs. Thank you so much for letting me feature you on La Musica today. We want to wish you a happy Mother's Day and tell you what an amazing woman you are. And you're an inspiration to all women, not just Italian Americans, and to moms. So grazie, Elisa.
Grazie, prego, prego.
Baby, grab the day the circus came to town, and she didn't mind parades just passing by her. On the way up, I got it all together. Nothing's gonna hold me back.
At the age of 15, she won Star Search and a recording contract. Now she's 21 and she's hit the charts recently with a song she co-wrote along with Prince. Ooh. Performing On the Way Up from her album, I Am. This is Elisa Fiorillo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Elisa Fiorillo. Woo. Come on. Woo. Everybody say, woo. Come on, come on. Woo. All the girls in the house say, woo. Come on. Woo. Say, woo.
Way up, look at that. Woo.
Cause you cool. Hey, Lisa. Are you hot? No. Do you know why? Why? Cause you cool.
So high, that I could touch the sky. Nobody else loves you like me. I know you're shining, that's not the way. There's nothing that I can do to say, baby, baby, baby. You got me on the go fast, it ain't rhythm. What a mess you're making, the neighbors wanna know why you're always shaking. How I long to be the girl I used to be. Fascinating rhythm, you got me on the go. Fascinating rhythm, you got me on the go. Fascinating rhythm. But please let me say before I go, I love being here with you. Said I love being here with you. Oh, I love being here with you.
Elisa Fiorillo.
I am such a fan of hers, and she's so amazing the way she balances that busy life of hers.
It was wonderful, and what a great life story she has from age 15, and then writing her own music, coming to New Orleans and singing, and just she's had a great career, and then she's making the transition from 15-year-old to mom. You know?
Yeah, she's a great mom. Her daughter's really talented. I loved the connection with her grandmother. That's so special. I loved that.
And one of the things I always think about, you talk about your grandmother as well. So I know our grandmothers play a special role in our lives, and it was great that she went back and talked about her grandmother.
Absolutely. She has a website, which is elisafiorillo.com, and you can just Google her. She's got so much out there. It's just really fun to watch all of her videos of her amazing performances, and we want to thank her so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
It was great. And Lena, you're bringing so many people to the show. At some point, they all need to come to New Orleans for like a big concert.
That would be fun, the big Italian concert.
It would be wonderful.
Well, Charles, I had a great time today, and it's so great to see you.
I had a great time as well. I think I told you that they're playing Prima at this hotel right now, and it's just great. Buona Sera is being played, and we're doing Buona Sera.
That makes me so happy, Charles.
It does. Right. We'll see you soon. And another great show, and everybody, a great Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day out there, and thank you so much for watching, everybody. Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao.
Quante volte ho sussurrato amore ti amo. Buonasera, signore, kiss me goodnight.
Our New Orleans Insider Tour app features a Statue, Stories, and Spirits tour. There are over 150 markers that all have a little story. Download our tour to make your stay in New Orleans extra special.